And we're live, and it is pairing session sponsored by Makers Academy. Learn to be a web developer in 12 weeks in the heart of London, the teeming metropolis. Sam Pretty and John regulars are here with me. Let's go to screen share. I'm kicking around Vagrant stuff in the background, but John, you're kicking around some Rails bits and pieces, and you've run into an issue. Let's hear about what you're up to.
Okay, so I have this custom collection that I have made by subclassing from hash.
Mm-hmm.
And when you kick it off, you pass in a controller, and it does some lookup stuff where it gets a bunch of information about the routes.
Mm-hmm.
And the key part is that once it has all this information, it basically saves it to the hash that it is.
That it is, yeah, right.
Yeah. And that's great. But now I've got these little helper methods defined inside my class
Mm-hmm.
that go take my hash,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
collect from it.
Sure.
Uh, Actually, what I didn't anticipate is that instead of it returning a hash like my hash, my subclass hash, it returns the real hash. And so the thing it returns when it does this,
Mm-hmm.
I can't method chain other methods off of it because the superclass hash doesn't have my special methods defined on it. So I need some way of when I'm
Right.
doing this sort of select a part of myself and return, I'm still returning it at my level and not the super
You want
level.
to
I don't know
return.
if that's possible.
I see. I guess because what we've got here is it's kind of creating a hash on like the select operation there is creating a hash on the fly, like a new
Yeah.
hash. Yeah, I mean, one way to do it would be to create a clone of yourself and then delete those methods from it and then pass that back. Um,
Okay.
um, that's not necessarily the neatest solution, and the code there. I mean, but you know what I mean, right? You basically create a copy of yourself.
What's the best way to do that?
Well, in many languages, it would be mm,
Is it dupe?
oh, brain. Uh, I think like often in Java it was just dot clone. It may be the same. I think it's possible. I can just sort of see I'm checking on my command line. Do they have a dot clone operation? Yeah, I think it's just dot clone. It will make or there's the dupe, a shallow copy would be fine in your instance because you don't really care about having complete replica of the contents. You just want to have a
Right.
light set of pointers to the thing itself, if you know what I mean.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Let's get a debugger in here. And let me set things up so I catch that debugger. And that's not good. Um, okay, so I'm inside. So I could do, what would I call it? I would call, I don't know. Not creative right now. Subhash equals self.dupe, maybe. And then,
I don't know that you necessarily want to do self.hash equals self.dupe.
oh, I didn't do
You did
self.hash.
subhash. Sorry, right, yeah,
Yeah, I
subhash.
just
Go
called
on.
something silly. And then I'm going to, I guess, the right thing would be, so if I were to actually start writing it here, subhash equals self dot sub hash dot each, and then this will do. We got key. We don't care about the value, I think. Sub
It's interesting to think about what.
hash dot delete key.
There you go. I mean, the interesting other way to think about it is what is the Ruby. This is like you're doing. It's the select operation. Look at what select is doing. Select returns a new hash consisting of entries for which the block returns to toggle source. Yeah. I mean, the other thing that, yeah, and keep on doing that. I'm just sort of thinking about other ways to do it. Is that you could cast the returning hash as a root inspector as the parent class.
The thing is, though, that calling new isn't like gonna accept a hash. Or how would you cast?
I don't know. Well, you could just treat it as like. I mean, the interesting question is, what is? I guess you want to be able to like call only and then accept and so on. And the problem is that only returns. Yeah, I mean, I guess if the simple problem was just that it wasn't making those methods available on, is that what the high level bit, right? Is that you want to be able to chain only and accept?
Yeah, or other arbitrary methods. Actually, the one I wanted to chain was add param.
Right. But so I think in principle you could. Hold on. Casting objects in Ruby. Yeah, I mean that's my kind of reptile brain Java activity. Yeah, I mean that's in some situations why people would use composition rather than inheritance, because if the root inspector was something that just took a hash as the initialized, then you could then recreate a new root inspector just passing it the resulting hash. I'm not sure what does using inheritance actually buy you in this situation.
Well, I mean, basically what this route inspector is doing is well, here, let me just finish this line and I'll show you in the debugger. Include key. Okay, continue. So what it returns, I can actually awesome print this so it's easier to see. Is basically a parsed version of the routes inside this controller. I don't know how easy it is to read with this color scheme.
I can read it. I can read it.
Terminal, but yeah. So maybe I would need another object that each of these individual hashes gets casted as, and then I can do delegation from there.
Yeah, I mean, I think we casting doesn't really. I'm done reading some other in the background. I think casting doesn't really make sense in Ruby. But it's an interesting question. If you've got a hash and you've got some subclass of hash and you want to make those methods available to hash, what's the best mechanism for doing that? I mean, what would the solution that we're giving here, which is that like you've created a clone and then you've deleted those methods from it, and then you return that should work. I was just wondering if there was some other sort of simpler approaches.
Right.
But I guess I still it's not clear to me that the inheritance is, or what the inheritance is buying in terms of functionality.
Well, the key thing, the reason why I started subclassing from hash is because this whole thing that I do inside this class, this initialize script, when this is done, I don't want to be stuck with an arbitrary class with an instance value that is my hash. I want to have a hash.
Right, but you could have like method missing on it and then be passing stuff up to the hash. So Do you know what I mean? Like you want to be able to on the object that's been created. You want to like there's called objects. You want to be able to do objects and then open square brackets and then pass in a thing and get. You want to be able to query it like it's a hash, right?
Yeah.
And
I do. Yeah.
right.
I was actually looking at that. Go ahead.
Right. But you can achieve that even if you're not even if you've got using on Ruby, even if you're using composition, right? And you've got like an instance variable that is that hash, right?
Mhm.
You could put in a method, override the method missing on root inspector and have any any of the you could basically tell it to pass on any method calls that it doesn't know how to handle to the hash itself. And so then like because the the hash lookup is just a method call, right? It would then go straight onto the hash that it owns.
Right. Yep.
But I mean,
Yeah, that's partially useful. I mean,
but
one of
yeah,
the things I want is
go on.
that when you initialize this, the
Mhm.
object, if you were to look at it, would be a hash. So I guess I could do that and also override, what's it called? Inspect?
Well, why do you want to make it? Why is it important that if you look at it, it looks like a hash, or is that just for printing it out?
Um, I guess maybe it's not that important. Yeah, maybe not that important.
Because I guess the the root inspector, you could have the initialize could take either a controller or a hash as the first argument, and then if it's a hash, then it would just sort of copy. It would just replace the internal element with that. Anyway, I mean, it seems like you can do it either way around. I'm not. I don't know that I'm feeling that one way is massively more sensible than the other, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I mean, I like the idea. There's another thing that you may have been one in here is, have you ever heard of the module Fortable?
Affordable? No, no.
This is something I was looking at last night to do that exact sort of delegation. Uh,
I mean, the other thing that you could be doing is you could be opening up the hash class to
yep.
Give it only an accept on the underlying hash class.
Yeah, actually, accept is already defined. I just need to do only.
And then you would you'd get that your existing code would work and would be chainable.
Right. Okay, so here's part of the thing. When I initialize this thing,
Mm-hmm.
and I save it to a variable. I
Mm-hmm.
want to just be able to interact with that directly. I guess I could still work things out behind the scenes so that works. I don't want to have to do like routes.
No,
So I
no,
don't
no.
want to like have to call this
No, but I
inspect and
think
then call it.
none of the methods that we're describing would rely you to do would require you to do routes.
Right, right. Yeah. Okay, so let me just do a quick commit and then I'll back out and try it the other way.
But did this one? Did you run this and try that it worked?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Well, I'm glad that my suggestion worked. How are you doing, Samperi? Are you working on stuff for Cordelia in the background, or on the certificates? So my new script for Vagrant. Oh, hey, Jon. Well, I'm just running the train station. How you doing?
You want to just, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I could move in there. Have you got a lot of people?
No, because I cancelled the meet the special after work of the club.
Ah, I thought I saw.
Presentation of Adam. I don't know if you saw it.
I don't know that I did, but this. Okay, right. I did. I mean, I didn't see that, but
Yeah.
yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, we are here. You want to move there and maybe we can.
Yeah, I mean, I'll come
I
and
would.
I'll come. I'll come.
You are busy probably.
Well, I mean, I've got a couple of regular developers in here. We're just like pairing on some Rails, stuff, and I'm playing with Vagrant, and yeah.
If you have spare time, I would begin to see better your new website and how I can collaborate.
Oh, okay.
How I can explain to other people.
Yeah, let me look to see how easy it is to move, guys. So yeah, I'm going to see we might do the code collective thing. Hold on.
Okay.
So you guys running your thing tonight, yeah?
I think the code collective is there.
What time until when do you finish?
It's like 6:30 till 8. Okay. Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think you have a part. Hey guys. So I'm just going to disconnect briefly to try and move into the bigger office. How's that going there, John? Did you try the alternate route?
Yeah, method missing. Am I gonna mess it up if I... Okay, so I see punting to super is usually done in an if-else scenario. What if I only want else? It's called method missing and then super? Or not super, but hash?
Well, there I think you'd like call, what you could do there from method missing is you could call the hash. I mean, if you're going to have a composed hash object, you could then call hash method. You could just call the. I think what you probably want to do is you want to just call that method on hash, and in the if statement. Or I would attempt to do that with a try catch. So you could try and call that method on. But actually, to be honest, I don't think you even need to call super, because you could just call the method on hash, and then the hash's own method missing will handle it. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
I would just do method missing and then call that. I'd do like hash dot name args or whatever it is required in order to pass it on directly.
Now, obviously, that would be calling it as a class method, not an instance method.
I think you can have access to it as an instance. It doesn't have to be a class method. Like the method missing is also it's a method on the instance. Anyway, hold that thought, because I think the other guys would also be kind of interested to hear about those concepts. So let me just move room, and
Sure.
We'll pick up on that. Yeah, comes after. Sure.
Yeah. We've got to get a job first. So.
Yeah.
If it's enough to get a job, then you can do that.
Well, that's it. It's get paid. That's all you want. You want to get paid to learn. Yeah, that's the key, isn't it?
And the thing is, you are learning here really good practices. because there are other many developers that they don't do TDD and stuff like that.
That's the sort of you go and see. You actually have to work in a code. They force you to work with code, and there's no tests. But you have to be the evangelist coming with, no, yes, we will have tests, and we will have proper processes.
Tests are all,
Yeah.
Well, you'll choose carefully which company you go. Otherwise, you get you end up spending all of your nights there trying to fix the bugs that aren't covered by
Yeah.
So
it's hey guys, can you hear me?
Yeah.
I think I've got a bottle. John, you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay, I disconnected from the network and I reconnected in a different room, and I'm just checking that it's that it's,
All systems go.
that something's happening, but the network is reconnected. And then I'll put this up on the monitor. But this is Johan is a Flannel guy. He runs the code collective thing, but he's now doing it every 2 weeks, so I wasn't sure it was on tonight. Right. Ah, yeah, there we go.
I'm gonna put myself here.
Yeah, okay. It's a bomb! What's that? It's sticking! It's sticking! Dangerous. Dangerous. And is that probably the wrong thing? There. Okay. It's been nice knowing you.
What's that?
I'm making a joke about. So the bomb is ticking, it's going to explode, so it's been nice knowing you. Yes, what it's doing there. But so it'll be easier for you to see it there. Okay. All right, I'll be back in 2 minutes. Water. That's really hard. I think the thing you'll do is if you get higher up and you can, because what has to happen is this has to get further over there. Well, and then the other one will just turn it. You alright? Oh, John! So, I'm wondering, is there any way you can make your font a little bit bigger?
On the bottom screen?
I'm putting it up on a big projector.
Uh-huh.
What would be good would be, probably reversing the color scheme to have the white on the background like we had before. Do you know what I mean?
How is that?
That's good. That's an improvement. Definitely. I can probably also. I'm just trying to move some other windows around. So John's kind of just sort of playing around with some bits and pieces in Rails. and Pavel is here. Hey, Pavel.
Yeah, hi guys.
And it's maybe Scrum time, but actually you're also interested in Agile Adventure Scrum, aren't you? Yeah. Okay.
Not too many people here.
No. Well, Sam Pretty was here. I think we lost Sam Pretty. Oh well.
Okay, let's wait for 3.
Yeah. Did you paste the?
No, not yet. I will paste. Not yet.
Yeah, paste the name. In the background here, I'm continuing to play with Vagrant. I'm just going to try and see if my new Vagrant file. Right. I'm going to try and create a local support instance with. What am I doing? Vagrant up. Okay. Let's see if that happens. Put that one in the background. Okay. That's me. Okay, I guess I might switch around the screens for a moment. Because I'm sharing that screen. Okay. Yeah, this is me doing this. So for Pavel and for Johan, so what we're trying to do is get up with. So what Vagrant is there is to create a headless VM for you on your machine, and what we've got is like a script that will go through and install like Ruby, all the gems that we need, set up a database, set up everything basically. And the idea is that you can check out of our repository and then run Vagrant up and Vagrant SSH, and you don't have to go through any kind of that just runs in the background, and you're just there on the command line, and you can just start coding. You don't have to go through like hours of like trying to work out how to install the project.
Similar to Cloud9.
Well, Cloud9 is it's in like Cloud9 is providing you a box in the cloud that you can just start programming on immediately. Right?
In the browser.
Right, the browser. This is providing you a shell on your local system that you can immediately.
I see.
So
it's a desktop app.
It's well, if I, for example, if I do one of these, right, I get a bash shell, yeah, and I can potentially I can do Ruby -v, and I start, I can do IRB, and I can do 2+2 and all the, what have you. I can start doing Ruby in this environment, and I can start making Rails apps or Sinatra apps or what have you. But I'm doing this on my OS X system, and it's sort of like whatever I install on my OS X system will all be influenced, right? Like this command line. But what happens with the Vagrant is I kind of it sort of creates like a little walled garden.
Yeah.
Of like a
partition.
like a partition, but so like a little instance of Ubuntu, like in this case Ubuntu, running in a little box that I can access like this. So I can do the same with the Cloud9, but the box is in the cloud, and I could have the command line access to the cloud. But then if my internet connection is not very good, or I'm disconnected from the internet, but so yeah, you'll see in a minute when it comes up. Anyway,
Should I go?
you could grab one. Yeah. You need a virtual box as well, but yeah, you can use the macOS. You probably want to get a virtual box. But yeah, you could potentially, if you get it working, we could try out. We'll get you in. Did you get set up with local support before? One of our Rails projects. But anyway, that's the kind of I'm confusing you.
Sam, with whom you are talking?
I'm talking. Sorry. So Johan is in the room with me here in London.
Who?
Johan, so he's kind of local developer here. He runs the Code Collective event. Johan, Pavel.
Yeah, hi, Jan.
So Pavel's in Moscow, and he's a Scrum specialist, and he runs our evening Scrums for us.
Scrum Master or?
Scrum Master. Yeah, I think you're certified, aren't you?
Yeah, certified.
That has two meanings actually in English, but that's another story.
What languages do you develop with? Yeah, Ruby, obviously. If you are working.
Yeah, Pavel, are you doing Ruby in your day job these days?
No, Pega Systems, a BPM system for enterprises, not Ruby.
Oh, what languages are you programming in?
It is internal language in Pega. We also make some extents on Java, but the main language is internal program language. It is kind of BPL, but in our, BPM languages.
Custom language. Fair enough.
Yeah. It's a platform, business process management platform with its own infrastructure. Yeah. Not very popular, but from BPM system, it is one of the leader.
Interesting.
Hmm?
I was saying that's interesting. Yeah, I'm surprised that we don't, because I think the others, are they in parent sessions or?
I don't know. I thought that in your open parent session should be a lot of people.
Well, it comes and goes.
I can understand here in Russia now starting holidays, the 1st and 2nd of May.
Right.
But in other countries, I don't think that you're celebrating it.
Well,
what are you celebrating? Is it May Day?
Well, go on, John.
Pavel.
Yeah, we celebrate 1st of May and 2nd of May. It's like Labor Day here.
Exactly. Well, yeah, it's the original one. Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, in America we don't celebrate it on May 1st, and there's actually a lot of criticism from leftists about the way that American politics has perverted May Day to be Labor Day, but it's a lot of fine details.
And we have this coming Monday is a bank holiday. The first Monday in May is always a bank holiday in the UK, and
today is Wednesday. Definitely not holiday.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But the thing that's happening in London is there's a tube strike on. So we might normally have 10 or 12 or 15 people here in the room with us. I mean, not in the hangout. But they're, because the trains are not running. But yeah, I think it's also, well, it goes, comes and goes. I guess, we should just do the scrum. Pavel, did you want a screen share, or should I?
No, you can try. Okay, let's start. We're now a scrum.
Yeah.
Today is, how is it called? 30? Just 30 or 30th?
Yeah, we'd say that. You can say like it's April 30, or you could say April 30th.
Okay, it's April 30, and this is America's Scrum. Today is quite two, actually. Here is John, Sam, Johan, and me. Let's start. Okay, Sam, you're sharing your screen. Well, let's start with John.
John, there we go.
Sure. I've just been off on a little side quest, so to speak, of figuring out how to orchestrate some details coming out of Rails in a convenient way. The actual way I intend to use it isn't that important. I'm more into it just for the learning experience of playing around with what Ruby has to offer in terms of maybe a little bit of metaprogramming and other options that is unique to Ruby, perhaps. Or maybe not unique to Ruby, but basic object-oriented programming of how to cleanly collect a bunch of random details and then use them somewhere else. So that's what I've been up to. What's blocking me? What do I plan to work on? What's blocking me is just all the blog posts that I want to read and, basic general ideas of how all the different ways that I could put this together and which one is best. And this is what I'm going to continue working on.
Good stuff. Yeah, we'll look forward to looking at some more of that in a bit.
Any problems you're facing?
No.
Not at all.
Yeah, I think we're kind of like we're looking at together at a few different alternative ways of making this Ruby work. And so, it's kind of ongoing. As soon as the Scrum finishes, we'll carry on looking at the alternative. There's a number of alternatives, and the question is which is the best Ruby style.
Mhm. Okay. So I'm going to proceed pairing with Sam, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. Very good.
Okay, Sam.
Yeah, so I've been in Makers today. It's been my local support focused day. I managed to get a few pull requests pulled in. Like a lot of them were sort of refactoring oriented. Yeah, here we go. This is the pull require. This Hound CI thing, I think we decided was too much. It gave us too many messages. Yeah, so I pulled in a couple, and I particularly pulled in this 9-fold footer. I kind of put off working through the rest of the pull requests. I paired with David, getting him ready to finally give a editable footer link to pull requests. It's very welcome. What I did was, now that we have the 9-fold footer in, I got a setup for our switch from Heroku to 9-fold. So I got us set up. There were some little problems with there. We got some support from 9-fold, but we 9-fold with their chat. They're like, just go away from me. But so we now have on 9-fold, we now have the local support site, which is Harrow Community Network. We now have develop, staging, and production. So I think this is the develop site here. I do notice actually, it's just my browser, I seem to get these lines through the map. Do you get that sometimes, John?
I don't know. I think it is just your browser. I've looked at it.
Yeah.
Well, you can reload and try to refresh.
Yeah, no, but let's say I've sort of tried reloading it. I've got it. This is now, we're deployed on. It's funny. I don't know what it is. Anyway, but so what we have in particular, what we have now is we have at the bottom here, we have hosted by 9-fold. So we've got powered by Adventures. We've got and hosted by 9-fold. And so that was the deal. So 9-fold were basically, they're giving us $300 of service per month, in exchange for the logo on the site. And so we've got that was the develop server now, and we've got production server, staging server, and the production server. We've got a production server as well, and I haven't deployed to that yet. So I'm just getting all set up. This I just did today is I got all of the data from Heroku and put it in here, and that works fine. So in principle, we are, we are ready. There's I would do. I've got. If we go to the pivotal tracker, we just get at the right size. The Vagrant 9-fold. Yeah. So the 9-fold logo is into the footer. I'm basically working on this task, or this feature, which is moving all systems over to 9-fold. And we're doing this so we can get the secure HTTPS login, which Heroku wouldn't provide for less than $20 a month. Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, we're the last two things. I would move the latest production data over to a production version, and then I'd switch over the domain names, and then we would have moved from Heroku to 9-fold. So there we go. That will be a big step for us for local support. The client will be able to start sending out to the site, inviting a lot more people into the site. So yeah, quite pleased to have got that far today. Mm-hmm. And then we've in parallel with that, we've had problems like the Travis build has been failing on. Was just preventing us from deploying to Heroku. I think that might be related to the latest version of Ruby, but I can't tell. But we may, I don't know. I guess we'll have to get Travis working again. But I used that as a spur to continue working on the Vagrant thing because I'm busy trying to get to debug the Travis build, which is using Ubuntu on my OS X box. So I think it's just generally I need to be on Ubuntu and I need the Linux and I need the Vagrant set up. But so actually I think we've got here, this is John and I were working on this, looking at this before. This looks like my provisioning script for Vagrant. which will do is now. You see that, John? Look, it's going through and that's installing the gems in the background there in the provisioning scripts. So that last set of changes seems to have worked. And fingers crossed, when that ends, that will be a working local support Vagrant deploy. So that, I haven't made so much progress on the pull request today, but it'll be very pleasing if that works out. What's blocking me? Yeah, it looks like it's bringing out the main block in some ways, or what's frustrating of the issues I've encountered today is I can't work out how to deal with this build error, which is this one. So we're getting this. Okay. I haven't actually seen that error message. I was busy looking at these ones, but basically it couldn't install debugger. Okay. But so that's a more specific error message. But that is the main thing blocking it. Okay.
What
Yeah.
about this problem with client having decided it with local support?
So it's what about which?
About one of the stories that wasn't done in accordance with what your client said, but not what the sponsor wanted to.
Yeah. So we did have. So that was yesterday actually. I managed to meet with our client's client and have a discussion with him about the direction of the volunteer epic. And actually, he's pretty happy with what we've done, and he's there. Yeah, so I recorded that meeting with him, and I put the video up and put it in the local support chat. So I think it hasn't been such a bad thing, if you know what I mean. I think he and I are on the same page. But I think it's very valuable that we spoke because he's got a lot of ideas about the directions the project should take. So yeah. Yeah, that's
good. Yeah.
And then my plan is to carry on sort of hanging out, doing local support with Johan and John, whoever's around. Hopefully finishing up the Vagrant install and exploring more of Rails and hashes and stuff with John.
Okay, great. Well, Marian joined us. Marian, your turn.
Hey, Marian, you're muted.
Oh, hi. Yeah, I was just working with David on the editable footer links, and we made some changes to the specs. David created a migration spec, which was interesting, and we did a little drying out of it. But we're actually having the same problem with the Travis, with the debugger.
Right.
So the build is failing.
There seems to be a suggestion of a solution here. I think maybe it's well, that's funny actually, because it's the solution here. It's saying is move the debugger into the development environment, but I'm pretty sure
it is in the development.
It is in the development environment. I think this seems like a new era. I mean, yeah, I think just looking at the problem here is that basically we've got this new version of Ruby that's come out, and it just hasn't. There's no source. Right. There's a mismatch there, and it looks like this person, they basically removed the debugger entirely for their gem file, and then they were able to handle it. I think this that's not going to help for us. Yeah. I guess it would be nice. Can we specify that Travis should use an older version of Ruby?
We're using
like RBM 193.1.9.3. We could specify a particular release instance there, couldn't we? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Is it P484 is the previous one?
That's the one I'm on, but other people are on 448 I noticed.
But I think the key thing is what Travis is on, and Travis, I think we only specified 193. So we had this before when Travis updated the gems. It's is it this and what's the one? Anyway, you want to? Is there anything else blocking you? What are your plans?
No, there's nothing else blocking me. I guess I'll just keep.
So you're going
Okay,
to
well-
proceed working with David, right?
No, I think David is done for today. But
Oh.
maybe tomorrow. I was gonna go back and do the map, which is now really almost finished, as it was yesterday.
You might want to try, like, see, I think if we specified like this in the Travis, I wonder if that would then
And what's that file? Travis.yaml?
the .travis.yaml.
Okay.
I mean, just if I look at
I guess.
go on.
That has to be done now by, like, for example, for David in his.
Yeah,
commit
I
and
mean,
push to-
I could check that it works. I was just going to go over here. Yeah, I mean, we could we're an open pairing session, so I mean, we could let Pavel finish up the Scrum and then look at this in more detail. But,
Okay.
Anything else, Mary?
No.
Okay. Sam, will Johan talk what he did or not?
Johan, do you want to? So this is in case it wasn't obvious. So when we do these we have the. I don't think you ever signed in on a Scrum before. This is an Agile Ventures Scrum. So you know the Agile Ventures site.
Yeah, sure.
Uh, yeah, I don't know if you could sign. Yeah, but basically we have every few hours or so we have these open scrums that people can join like this, and everybody says, sometimes we do project focus, sometimes people focus, but this is like a people focus one where everybody said what they were working on, anything that's blocking them, and what they're planning to work on, and then we kind of help people hook up to do pair programming on open source projects. So yeah, you just saw the Americas Scrum, which is this time. So you can see we're in one for every day. Did you want to say what you've been working on and what's blocking you, what your plans are?
Yeah, but I haven't been working on your projects. So.
Right, but it doesn't really matter. You can just, like, for example, you're working on learning Ruby and Rails and so on. So you could just part of the general project is it's not so much like the projects include things like getting paid to learn, and you can just like, so John there is sort of talking about exploring bits of Rails and the hash and Ruby things. So you can just you can tell us what you're kind of learning about and what you plan to learn about, what's blocking you.
I would like to know how to collaborate with you guys. I maybe miss an introduction to your system. How do you collaborate with each other?
Well, and you're sort of seeing how we collaborate. So I mean, like we have these meetings every 4 or 5 hours. There is another one in the middle of the night that doesn't show up there. But you can Agile, like the people I've been sort of bringing up. So this is me, John, Marion, Pavel's in there somewhere. And so this is just a sort of a place that from the Agile Ventures site, we just have like information about the. Why is it not going to the projects? I think my mouse is gone. So there's just like information about the projects. And so, for example, local support, which is what I've been talking about a lot, that's one of our oldest Rails projects. And so that has a real client in Northwest London who I see every week and show them what we've been working on. And so basically all of the, when people pair, because they're linked into the system, we get the videos of all their pairing activity, doing all the coding. And, we have, this links into the Pivotal Tracker, which is public and shows what everybody's working on. But the key thing really, I mean, this is there, people can browse through it. The key thing is that we have these regular Scrum events every day of the week going on and on.
Scrum is for one project.
No, the Scrum is for all projects.
For all projects.
So, this was the Scrum, and John and Marion and Pavel and we just went round talking about what we've been working. As it so happens, John and Marion and I are quite involved in local support, but at other Scrums at different times of the day. Because there's people all around the world, and so different Scrums, you'll get different sub-selections of people, and depending on who's there, we might do a people-focused Scrum or a project-focused Scrum. And so then, having chatted with, if a new person like yourself comes in and says, well, often they'll say, and then they might want to go and look at the projects themselves independently and maybe get set up with install or whatever. And then you can kind of, by attending a Scrum, you can then create a hangout together where you can either just observe other people pairing and ask questions, or actually get involved in pairing on the code.
Yeah, I see. Okay.
So, I mean, go on, Pavel. Go on, Pavel, what's up?
Yeah, I mean, Jon, do you want to say something about what you did or not? Not right now.
What I need?
I mean, what you... Yeah, what you
could tell, maybe you could tell the guys what level... I mean, you've been studying Ruby and a bit of Sinatra and things. To tell us a bit more about where you are up to in your kind of quest for being a developer.
I'm very beginner with Ruby. And I've been deploying some sites with Sinatra framework. Just playing and just... So, just if possible, I would like to get to a level that I can collaborate minimally with a project like yours.
And we accept people at every level. We're all about bringing everybody in and helping them get set up. So, is that your goal? You'd like to be involved in open source development on a real project?
Yeah, that would make me more engaged with my learning.
Sure.
Because now I'm starting as product owner, so I'm busy doing
you have a
business.
You have a new job as a product owner, right? But it's not a technical position.
It's not technical at all. I'm not
Not
programming.
coding, right?
But in my spare time, I would like to develop my programming skills, and probably to collaborate with other people. This social pressure would make me to engage and keep learning.
I think you're in the right place.
Yeah, that's the goal. Okay.
So you have a regular job, so you can participate in the evenings, right?
In the evening.
He's saying you have a job in the daytime,
Yes,
so evening is probably a better time.
Yeah, sure. I will.
Okay, my turn to wrap up. Well, I'm as a regular. Yesterday I carried on America's Scrum with Marion. There were only two of us. Well, my plans to... tomorrow holidays here. But yeah, I do America's Scrum tomorrow too. Actually, anything blocking me except lack of time. Participate more. Yeah. And my current job, all people now on holidays, on vacations, and I need to substitute all of them. It's something awful, But yeah, but it's okay. That's it for me. Well, I think we can wrap up with Scrum. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, Pavel.
Thanks, Pavel.
Yeah, and we can proceed pairing session.
Sure. Well, if David's kind of gone, then maybe we can just. What I've just done there is I just made that change to Travis. So,
okay.
For Johan, Travis is a continuous integration system that we use kind of with our GitHub. So whenever we push new code to GitHub, it runs all the tests in the background. And that's been kind of failing strangely today. So I'm kind of hoping now, yes, that Travis will have kicked off another build.
Where is that Travis.yaml file? Do we have a local?
It should be on the roots. It should be on the I'm trying to now see if the latest build history 104 saving about an hour ago. Oh, I've done the. I keep on doing this. I have my local instance of local support, and I have the Agile Ventures instance, and I probably just pushed that change Ugh. I've done this like about 4 times today. And if I do git pull Tansaku develop, here we go, and then git push origin develop. Okay. Okay, so John, you're that's for website 1. Sorry, I'm kind of right. John, you're chatting in a different. Okay. Yeah. Do you? Okay. Yeah. All right. Okay. Thanks. We're trying backing out to Ruby 4.8.4. Okay. Did you find the Travis? And I pulled that over.
Do we have a local copy of it? Is it in the repo?
Yeah, it should be like if you just look at your local thing, it should have dot Travis in there. And I just pulled that into staging rather than develop. Anyway, but git pull.
Okay, I see it.
I mean, I guess that we've got the issue there that we would like to be on the latest version of Ruby. Anyway, I mean, we can see in the background if that. I mean, the problem with completely commenting out the debugger gem is that we do actually use it for testing and so on. But in the background, I think it looks like. Oh my goodness! But so this is. I've just run the Vagrant install script, and now I do Vagrant SSH from. So I'm already on there, and what it's doing is logging into another machine running on my machine. And so here, I should be able to do cd local support, and I should be able to do bundle exec rate spec, and hopefully see all the tests pass. And if that works, I'll be very pleased. How's your stuff going there, John? I guess you've been on your screen the whole time, but
yeah, just browsing blog posts. When do we want to talk about the whole hash thing and method missing?
Yeah, we could do. Yeah, I think for the recording is going to be really silly because it's been on your screen the whole time rather than mine. But anyway, one day Google will sort that out for us. Yeah, just I think it's that the method missing is stuff might be interesting for Johan.
Yeah, my concern is I think method missing would need to go the wrong way, because basically my problem is that we're returning a hash, and the hash class doesn't have my stuff in it, and so we would need to open the hash class to find method missing to punt to me, which I don't think we want to do.
I don't know that that's true. Let's look like in the. I mean, so we were talking about.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Method missing could go to me first and then to hash.
Right. Exactly.
You want to tell us what you're talking about?
Yeah, John. Do you want to summarize what you've been doing?
Right. So, we've got this custom collection thing here that's gonna grab all the routes. The top of the screen is how I'm using it, and there's really only a couple lines to pay attention to here. And the bottom screen is how it's defined, more or less. And what this route inspector does is you give me a controller, and I parse out all the routes that are generated for it in routes.rb, including whether or not it needs an ID, because that's sort of like automatically in the route, like.
So this is what I'm talking about here is
ID matches by default.
It's much more sophisticated version of Sinatra.
But
Yeah.
not by default.
URLs.
Or some extra params that you might need to add, like when we're doing the create or update. You need special params saying what exactly that method requires in params there to be a hash specific to the organization that has attributes for mass assignment. But anyway, the basic thing that happens here is that we go through the routes and we parse out the ones specific to that controller into like a hash. It actually looks like what I have at the bottom of my terminal here on the left.
Yeah, there's a little
And
bit.
then I was defining some methods that allow me to like get a subset of them with somewhat familiar syntax only in except. So I could say only create an update, to get those hashes. And then I want to be able to do special things, like I have plans to have a method where you can add a param where it's going to be the hash that is needed for those two methods in the controller. I don't know if you can remember the controller, but like I guess I could pull it up on my screen where I want to pull it up on the bottom. Zoom in. You see how line 63, we need a special key in the params hash that is actually itself another hash.
Mm-hmm.
So like a couple of these will need extra information other than just the ID number. So anyway, the problem was when I get a selection of part of the all the routes that I've collected, my selection is returning just a hash, not a route inspector, and so my add param method isn't going to be present to do the special logic that I want to do. And I had, in my previous commit, I have saved a working version in which we do something different, where this actually subclasses from hash, and then we do some funky things in here to make sure what we give back is also a route inspector, so that my other methods can be called on it. But I backed out of that, and Sam had suggested, well, I'm fine with doing that, but Sam had suggested another path, so I backed out of it, and we were thinking of trying to play around with method missing.
Yeah, I mean, I think that there's the interesting thing here from a sort of programming point of view is it contrasts the two approaches. Is that John's initially gone. If you're just going to scroll up a little bit in that window, John, so that we can see the root. Okay. Have you started moving over to the other method? So the initial version is we were using inheritance. So root inspector would be a child class of hash, and that was one approach. And the other approach is inheritance is to use compositionality. So root inspector would have a instance variable that was a hash. And John was not. You wanted to avoid that because then you would have to refer to that instance variable to kind of check for things and this, that, and the other. And I was saying, yeah, what you could do. I mean, what you would do there on line 84 is if you had attributes. I mean, I guess you don't even need.
I'm getting a call from New York. I need to answer this. I'm sorry to do this to you guys.
Oh, I know. We'll switch over to Vagrant, where I've. So we switch over to my screen.
Hello, this is John.
John, you want to let's mute John. There we go. Okay. There's maybe a job coming up here, and we'll see. But so it looks like I almost got everything working there for the Vagrant install, and I'm hoping that this is something that you can use as well. Oh yeah, the MOOC is starting up, the 169 MOOC that I'm teaching.
Yeah, this one. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you're in it.
I mean,
cool.
Just...
Excellent, excellent. Yeah, no, I mean we're just starting. It's all that's we're going to be learning. That's a good MOOC to be in. I hear. Anyway, where were we? Yes. So this is I'm very pleased here, and it seemed to run. It's got a lot further with the automated install than it had previously, but it's failing to run the Cucumber tests And I wonder if that, because well, I guess it's run this precise thing. What I'm seeing when I search for this, getting the cucumber tests running, is people are saying that you should run your computer tests, your cucumber tests, like so. So I guess, which is not necessarily the end of the world. And if that runs, then we have a working Vagrant script, which we could use. Lots of people, and also Yuan could get set up. Well, also, what I really want at the moment, you see the different options in this VM image, where I want to have a Vagrant install process in this course, so you can get set up relatively quickly with, you know, the image with the image with the course.
Will replace this?
Well, it's as an alternative, because the thing is that, so if you install this VM image thing in the course, what you end up with is you end up with a thing like this, which is this Sourcebook thing, and that's, you know, lovely and self-contained, and it gives you a whole Ubuntu desktop that you can play with that runs on top of your computer. And if you've got a pretty fast computer, that's great. And if you've got a you know, good internet connection, you can download that, and that's fine. But there's a lot of people in the course for whom this is kind of like, one, you have to move the student out of the comfort zone, and suddenly you're asking them to manage an entirely new desktop with new editors and new, I don't know, whatever. Yeah. So that can be challenging. And also because the download is like, you know, 4 gigs or whatever. For people on poor internet connections, it's not very good. It's, you know, the advantage, the potential. Oh, okay. So I've got all the cucumbers passed there. Woo! So we have a Vagrant installed. But so the advantage of this, you see here, this is now my Vagrant environment. Marion, are you following what we're doing with Vagrant?
Yep. Yep. I mean, I've only seen this part of it, but I see what you're doing.
Yeah. But so the interesting thing here is that this is now a shared folder. So this local support. I'm sort of, I can just almost treat it like this is, I'm SSHing into a box there, and but I can just treat it like it's a terminal, but I can use my, you know, RubyMine, or what I'm using, I've shared the local support code for the project is shared between the Ubuntu box that I've got running in the, like, Vagrant, and on my OS X system. So I can kind of, I have to learn the command line, which you have to learn anyway. But I can stay in the relative comfort of whatever my host operating system is, if that makes sense. But so
you will explain in this course how to install.
Well, if you look up if you scroll up in this, so Johan's looking at the install things. I'm mentioning here one interesting concept is Vagrant. So now I've got it to work for local support. Tomorrow I'm going to work on making that work. So it's going to be one of the. I'm trying to promote it as an option, and so if we schooled up, I haven't really got. I mean, we do have. I'm starting on a thing. I've got some pull requests from other developers about how to have. What I want is a tested working version, and start to have more and more people trying it. So
I wait for you.
Yeah. Well,
this is best option. Better.
I think it depends if you want to stay in your Mac editors and things. Or if you'd rather learn about the, I mean, I think it's what we could do today now. See, now that I've just got this working, we could try and set up local support for projects on your machine.
Yeah, that would be good.
Yeah. So, but so having just got this to work, I think. So now I'm so git status here. Yes. Right. So I've got these two files here. So I can now do git. And actually, it's all so I've got these two files, git -am. This is now this is a working Vagrant install, like so, and I do git push origin master, and then I need to go to the main site, Azure Ventures, and I guess I could do a pull request, but no. So if I then do git pull Tansaku develop, like so, Oh, I did git push origin master. Ugh. So I've got like my developer version of the code, and then I've got the main repository version of the code. Git should have done git push origin develop. Right, that's and then Azure Ventures support git pull Tansaku develop, and then git push origin develop. Okay. So actually, maybe Marion, what's your host system, by the way?
Windows.
Windows. Maybe you could have a try with this as well. I need to close some of my. Let's get rid of some of the ninefold things. Okay. So if we go over here, and this is Azure Ventures local support. So now, if we look at, I would like this to be a bit smaller. What? Okay, right. So, working Vagrant install. So now we've got a Vagrant file in here, and we've got a Vagrant Ubuntu install. So what you could do, Johan, is if you go to Azure Ventures local support, and what you want to do so that's my personal one. You want to if you double click on the word Tansaku in the double click in the address bar, so that you select just the word Tansaku. That was not. What you need to go to the inverse of that. I want replace Tansaku with Azure Ventures. You want you see look at this address bar up here.
Yeah.
You want that? Sorry, I didn't explain that very well. And Marion, if you want to maybe update your if you do the pull upstream on the develop to get the code.
Okay, but I'm doing that in Ubuntu.
Okay. Yeah, that's okay too. I mean,
it does work.
The situation of running a Vagrant inside the Ubuntu, but you might want to try doing it on your. Maybe you don't want to be on your host system. Maybe you actually prefer being in the pure Ubuntu environment. Is that?
I do. It's true.
Yeah. I mean, you could, although it would be interesting to know if it worked for Windows. So
yeah. Apparently, I don't have Vagrant installed on Windows, although I thought I did. I can't find it now.
Yeah.
So let me do that in the meantime.
So you don't need to look at this file particularly. What you want to do is click the fork button there. And then what this will do is that will take a whole. So this is now for us to collaborate on this open source project. It takes an entire copy of this for you, saying where it comes from. So now what you could do is if you go to if you just copy the address bar, just a copy of that. If you come to, I don't know if you have a place where you check stuff out of GitHub, like if you have a documents or a code directory, like in your terminal. So open a terminal. And then, if you do git clone, do you do that in a regular? Is there a particular place that you do that? Anyway, you can clone, if you do git clone and then paste that URL, you'll pull out a copy of that code. But yeah, I mean, the interesting thing, Marion, on Windows, are you set up on the Windows to have what's it called? I forgot what it's called. A terminal, a good terminal thing, or have you just got like the Windows DOS prompt thing?
Yeah, I do not have a good terminal at the moment.
One thing that there's various things there is if you have the graphical GitHub client installed on Windows, it comes with a good terminal.
Oh yeah, you know what? I think I do have that. Git bash, right? Yeah, I have it.
Okay. So yeah, if you want to share your screen.
Okay.
So. Okay, you're making a Ventures directory. Yeah. One thing, carry on. I would generally avoid making directory names with spaces in them. You could try and see; it should be fine. But it's one of those things that Unix systems are a bit sensitive to having spaces. They often interpret things with spaces as being, breaks in the command sequence, as it were. So, I just am going to tell the guys about. Boot. I think we have a working Vagrant installs that for local support.
Let's see.
Oh, there you go. So, oh yeah, so you've got the git bash thing there.
Yes, anyway. I gotta start over, kind of.
I don't know. You're in some. I mean, I don't think you have to start over. Like there, you're inside local support, and it's on master. I'd do git remote -b there and see what that's connected to.
I don't think it's connected to anything because I just created it. I just did a git
okay, you
init.
did init local support. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I would have.
Then
You don't have to do the git init first, right?
I could have done git
You
clone.
could just do. I would do like rm -rf local support,
Yeah.
and then. So yeah, on so there, you just do git clone, so clone, and then paste the URL. I think you still have it on the clipboard now.
Do I want my own repo? Yeah, right.
Well, you got that one. It's fine. Sorry. So yeah, clone your you could do git git clone your own URL to your own repo. I mean, I guess you could be doing it off the main one.
Oh, I don't have this thing set up. That's annoying.
Yeah, if you click on the options in there, does it? Yeah, go to properties and the quick edit mode. I always think it's amazing. The really quick edit mode that's like really easy and helpful. Oh, okay. Let's see if that let you paste in there. Oh, okay. So Joanne's done the clone there. That's great.
Oh wait, look at that.
There you go. So if you
I could do Agile Ventures though, right?
I don't think so. No, you could just do your one.
Alright.
Well, if I was you, just there, I would do 9.1 and 9.3.
Oh.
Oh, do you need the SSH key?
Yeah.
That's a pain. Oh, do the HTTPS one. Yeah, clone HTTPS. Don't use git.com. Yeah, save yourself all sorts of pain.
Okay.
But so, and then for Yuan, so now you can do, if you do CD localhost, sorry, CD local support, you'll be in there. Yeah, Marion, you could do like git remote rm origin and then, oh no, you just blow it away and do git clone from HTTPS. HTTP. Do you know what I mean? Like the URL that's at the top of your the git clone, and then just the URL of your repository as you would have it in a browser.
Okay.
So you're inside local. So now you may need to install. I think you could try typing Vagrant up now. Did you install Vagrant? Not sure. We'll see. No, it's Vagrant up. So Vagrant up, as in it's like bringing the box up. And then, yeah, so you'll need to install VirtualBox. So that's Oracle's VirtualBox. So if you just type VirtualBox into another window, then
Another one.
into a browser, like into a it's like yeah, there you go. So if you need to download, go to downloads. For
Is
that.
this background?
No, so you have Vagrant already. So there's two things. So Vagrant is a manager. VirtualBox, this is what actually allows it to be a VM. The kind of the base thing is VirtualBox, and then Vagrant is the layer on top of that to kind of manage it for you. But so just if you go to VirtualBox, and so if we look for the latest thing, so VirtualBox 4.3.10 for OS X host. Here you go. That's what we want. And that might take a moment. But so in order to get the VM for the course, which I've lost now. Oh yeah, this one. That's running just on VirtualBox and no Vagrant. So you can get this. That's kind of like VirtualBox, and then if you install an image, then you can load the image into VirtualBox and you get an image. But so and that's fine. That works. As I say, fast computer, fast interconnection, you're absolutely fine. But it then it's sort of, particularly if you're learning a new language and a new framework and new approaches to coding, if you're having to learn a new text editor at the same time, and an entirely new way of managing it, I think it's potentially a bit too challenging. Yeah, so that's coming down. That's coming down. How are you doing there, Marion? Yeah. Oh, you're adding the upstream of.
Come on. I thought it was.
So that's going to be what https github.com/adventures.
It's a little fussy.
There
it is. Oh, it was when I clicked that I got it.
Oh, that's right. It's right click to paste. Sorry. It starts to be a long time since I was doing these things in Windows. So Joanna's just installing the VirtualBox. So you could just do there. Well, I would do, if I were you there, Marion. I would do git checkout. I git checkout develop. It would be in the develop branch because that's where the Vagrant thing is.
Well, I have to do git checkout upstream develop, right?
You don't have a. Okay, yeah. Do checkout upstream develop because you don't have an upstream. Oh, that's funny. Do you not have a develop on your local?
I have nothing here. I just created it. I just cloned this.
But
wait, but yeah, I should have, right? That's
yeah,
true.
I mean that's kind of weird. Like if you do git branch -a, do git branch there. What does it say? Maybe you'd have to do git fetch origin before you sort.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think if you do git fetch origin. Okay. So finished installing. So on your machine, it finished installing the thing. So you can try Vagrant up again. Just press the up key. There you go. And then couldn't open the file. Okay. So we're getting an error on your Joanna's machine, which is saying it couldn't open the file. Users for precise 32. Oh, box because I didn't phone install. It says it's added box precise 32. Downloading precise 32. Couldn't open file precise 32. This is one of the things I noticed that Paul, and he was doing this for another project. So we got couldn't open because it's Vagrant. Couldn't open file precise 32. I think that the because in this other project, we could just try Vagrant add precise 32. I don't know, Vagrant add precise 32. No space, single. It's funny because on your system it looked like it did do the or maybe it's Vagrant box add precise 32. I mean, maybe the approach is going to have to be this. Yeah, sorry. So yeah, box. That's it. Try that. A name is required when adding a box file directly. I guess what was the? Let me just look at the. We've got the edX on GitHub, edX platform. They have the installation, like the production stack. Oh no, but they're using an image, aren't they? Yeah, they're using a complete image. The way that Paul got things to work on. So this is like we're trying to get this set up across all the different versions of things. So he did it with this HashiCorp Spice32. I don't know if you want to try. Do you want to just can you edit the Vagrant file there? Have you got a text editor like you can go into quickly there? No, in the you're like do you use Sublime? What do you use for your text? Yeah, do you have it like you could do sub or you don't have it? But open Sublime into that directory. Well, you're going to go to File and open and try to open the direction that we're in there. Anyway, yeah, there. So maybe you installed. Did you put it in products? There you go. Azure Ventures. There you go. Right. So if you scroll down, then not you don't want that. Scroll down. So here, instead of can you try this? Add the word HashiCorp and a slash there. I think CORP and the slash. Yeah, and save that. And just now try and run the. You can try Vagrant. Oh, let me just check what did Paul put in his instructions. Vagrant install. Yeah, I think you need to run this command. Vagrant. We just try Vagrant up actually. Just try Vagrant up. If you hit up in your just to see. I think there's something about them having switched from. Okay. Yeah. I think they've retired an old name for the old box. But so no, Marian. So yeah, you don't want to run the Vagrant Ubuntu install there.
I can see that. Yeah. Okay.
Sorry. Yeah, it's a shame you couldn't.
Don't worry, it didn't run.
Yeah. So have you got that's your which branch you're developed and you've merged the latest upstream stuff.
It's weird because none of my branches are here. No matter, but I did.
If you do git fetch origin.
Yeah.
And then git branch, and then it's.
I did make develop just now.
Okay. If you do git remote -v, what do you get now? Okay, that's kind of weird.
Mm-hmm.
Oh well. Anyway, if you're in develop there, yeah. So what you would do now is you might need to make this edit that you might need to make the edit for the you could try typing Vagrant up now. Vagrant up.
Same precise whatever.
Yeah. Okay. So I think what we need, if you like edit, I mean, I could maybe make a change. Actually, probably I'll tell you what. Let me push a change for you. I think it seems like everybody's going to need this. HashiCorp. I could spell it HashiCorp slash. Yeah, HashiCorp slash. Okay. Now, there's that going to be in my, no, okay, go back to local support there, git status, git commit -am, looks like we need HashiCorp prefix, git push origin mask and develop. I wonder from here if I can just do git push upstream develop. Git push upstream develop. Yeah. Okay. If you refresh now, Marianne, if you do git pull upstream develop, I think it will change that. So is that now what's happening with Johan? And you're in the background there. Okay. So what it's doing now is it's downloading the base box. So that's your base Ubuntu thing, and then it's going to bring that Ubuntu box up, and then it's going to run our script to install all of the things that you need for the local support project on it. So that's interesting. Now which version of Vagrant are you on, Marianne? I think you can just do -B, but... okay. So you might want, well, what you could do, I think you've got two options there. Either you upgrade Vagrant, or you could you could just try Vagrant box add and that name and see if that worked.
I'm not familiar with this command. Vagrant box, one word?
No, Vagrant space box space add.
And the name is this.
And then #4/precise32. Okay. I think
URL.
Oh. I think it might be probably better to upgrade to the latest version of Vagrant. Maybe. I mean, maybe you.
Okay.
I think reading on the Vagrant site that you need to. I mean, I could look up the URL for you actually to try and see. I think it's probably. I mean, I've been polishing this script against the latest version of Vagrant, and I think to upgrade Vagrant, you need to go to the web browser and go to the Vagrant downloads and just download the latest thing there. And then that's going in the background there. So now on Johan's machine,
I actually did download it.
Yeah. So what's happening now? So it's installed the Ubuntu, and now what it's doing is if we look over here at the, it's running through this bash script, and anyway, but so what it's doing here is it's getting some utilities that it needs, like git and curl, and then it gets RVM, which is a Ruby version manager, and then it installs Ruby version 193. So it's doing that there, and then it has to get all the different libraries that it needs for the version manager. So that's for Ruby, and then it will go on, and you see what it's going to do is it will install other bits and pieces that we've worked out and needed for the project, and it's the kind of thing that people, when they're going through the install process and they miss one out, and then later on they have a problem, and it makes it really painful for the people trying to get set up. And then it's going to install the Postgre database and get it all ready, and then create it, get everything set up, and then you'll have a working system. I hope. We'll see. So, but it takes a little while, but depending partly on because it's going out to the network to pull in different boxes. Another thing that we could do is we could create a single image that would be one single bigger download. That's what the edX people have for developing their thing there. With Marianne and Michael is here. Hey, Michael. Hey. You're right there, Marianne?
I'm installing Vagrant.
Okay, so you're installing the new version of Vagrant. So, okay, so now, yeah, the new Box is now, it's installing Postgre. It's doing a whole series of configuration things that actually Michael originally was instrumental in helping us work out what we needed to do to make Postgre work for us. And, there you go, yep. It's doing some more stuff. We've still got, actually, Michael, we've got this like could not init font path element errors still seem to come up, which I'm not so excited about. But could not init font path element. Where does that come from? Somebody trying to do this. Oh, okay, that's interesting. So someone here is saying that that's the solution for that. We could try. Am I still getting that on the? So if I look at here, I can go to Vagrant SSH, and I will go back into the. That's my Vagrant box. Now I can run one of these commands. We'll see. What's your one doing now? So the, your one now, and this takes a little while, is now installed. You know what gems are, right? Gems are Ruby libraries, exactly. So now, which includes Rails and Sinatra and all those things. So now it's going to go off to the Ruby Gems host, and it's getting all those other bits and pieces. Is that Vagrant install looking sort of slow for you, Marion?
No, it's, well, you know, it's just doing its thing. It's about 2/3 of the way done removing files.
Yeah. I wonder in the background we might ask the question of whether that, what they're called now, whether Travis is building again.
Somebody sounds like they're in an action movie.
It looks like it's not. Oh. Okay. So it just doesn't like the P3, the P484 at all. I wonder if Travis has removed that from a security point of view. Requested binary station, but no Rubies are available to download. Consider skippering. Okay. That's no fun. Oh. That was in the wrong. I want to see if we can get those errors. Okay, so that makes me think that. Well, it sounds like David's solution was just removing debugger entirely. I guess we just add that as we need it. So, and it's like they download them and then the install process is building major things. You right there, Marianne?
Yeah, it is a little slow, I guess.
Debugger's not working.
On Travis, the debugger, trying to install the debugger gem with the new version of Ruby is causing Travis to just, barf. And I was trying to downgrade to the older version of Ruby, and that doesn't seem to work. And
Did we upgrade the gem, maybe?
That's a possibility. I guess maybe we've locked the gem to a particular version. Debugger. Yeah, I mean debugger's on 161 there in our gem lock. I guess we could. I wonder. Debugger gem.
Oh boy.
You're right. What's up?
I must restart my system for the configuration changes made to Vagrant to take effect.
Oh yeah. Welcome to Windows.
I haven't restarted this in like 5 years.
The computer?
Yeah.
Are you
No, I'm exaggerating. But I don't restart it every day. Break things that way.
I was reading that part of the strategy with Windows updates was actually to force you to reboot your computer every once in a while because they don't have tests for runtimes beyond that, and all sorts of things can go wrong.
I think whatever it is, it's definitely evil.
Yeah, I think that's been established.
Um,
Well, let me try it anyway without.
Marion,
Yeah, I
have you
mean-
ever worked with Workbridge Associates recruiting group?
It sounds familiar.
I mean, I would just say, I mean, I think if you haven't rebooted in 5 years, you may, I don't know. We were just doing this for the purposes of trying out on Windows, and I wouldn't want to be responsible for your system becoming non-functional just for the purpose of seeing if this works on your system, if you know what I mean.
Look what it says now.
Oh,
It tells me not to quit.
okay, yeah. Oh, I did this before, actually. Oh, well, it looks like it doesn't need to be. I think Windows is lying to you. It does that.
That's what I think.
Yeah, just press any key. That's fine. I had exactly this thing before for upgrading the Vagrant. Okay, so there it's getting the HashiCorp Precise 32.
Okay. I probably did it. Rebooted a couple days ago. Just.
Have you done the Code Academy before?
I believe them.
Not all of it. Oh, okay. Yeah. That's all good prep for the course.
It's following this.
Yeah, I wrote this. This is all new stuff that I wrote and I put in there. We're getting personal tradition from one of the MOOC instructors there. I'm there. So I'm thinking I probably. Oh, that's interesting because I'm not getting that pseudo thing about the. Where was I seeing that Dixit thing? I'm not seeing it there when I run it with exit with FB. Anyway. Have rogue spec. Did we get it on the specs? Yeah, I kind of worry about upgrading debugger. I guess the sensible thing is to kind of remove it, and then I guess if we remove it, then it will be, we can try and add it again later. The question of yeah, so the other nice thing about this is we could set for the Vagrant box, we could set positive things up, like we could set up the having the branch name on the command line and stuff that other people and then people would just have that by default,
That would be nice.
Okay. But so on your one, is that still the Vagrant just getting itself ready? Is it?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I think it's getting to the time where I need to kind of grab up. How did your phone call go, John? You there, John, or are you still on the phone? I thought John was talking to us before, but anyway.
Yeah, maybe he walked away.
Maybe he got another phone call. Okay. Yeah. So I think removing the debugger and then adding it back in. I guess we could try to. Anyway, I think it's got to solo. I mean, let's have a look at how. Yeah. So this is the thing: is it then gets sort of stuck where it's just installing gems. So I think I'm tempted to wrap up the open session because it's kind of late and my head's starting to hurt and I need some food. But yeah, thanks for checking that out. I don't know if conceptually what Vagrant is doing is any clearer there, Marion. But
Well, I've actually used it before. Rails uses it for their development environment.
right.
So I forked Rails and I had it working, but that was on my virtual machine.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. I mean, I used it a few times for other things, but it was still It's taken me a while to work out what's going on with it.
So what does it really do?
Vagrant, it basically seems to give you, at least as far as since it works on top of VirtualBox, it gives you the ability to kind of SSH into your VirtualBox, and it gives you kind of a scripting environment to sort of say, okay, make me a VirtualBox according to these specifications. Whereas on VirtualBox, the way that you would create them, as we all did at the beginning of the SaaS class, is you have to go through a GUI to make the necessary box, right, and specify, oh, I want this much memory and this, that, and the other. But so Vagrant provides you a way of, having effectively a shell script sort of thing to make the virtual machine that you want, and then to SSH into it directly without having to go through a kind of a heavyweight, the heavyweight VM box. VirtualBox, sorry.
So you get a better improvement in performance?
Yeah, so there's an improvement.
Just using command line, yeah.
Right, it's just pure command line, yeah. And then
is it possible to share your files with it, or?
Yeah, no, that's right. So look what I've got here. I don't know if you see my screen, so here, this I'm in my Vagrant box here, and I've got this root directory local support, which is mapped to my local support directory on the main system. And I think, we'll see if this works, I've mapped port 3003. Maybe I haven't done that effectively yet. I thought I had. What does it do here? Vagrant file. Host 3003, guest 3000. I thought I was forwarding the ports like this. Maybe it will just take a little bit longer. Oh yeah, there you go. Ooh. Look. So this is
viewing it on your OS X.
Yeah, so this is me on my OS X. I'm viewing that through port forwarding.
Now you've mapped now you're looking at it in your OS X.
I'm looking at it in my. This is the code. I'm looking at it in my OS X. I can do all of my.
If you run, say, a rake task or whatever, I guess that doesn't run through the SSH, right?
No. If I run the rake task here, it'll run locally. But so it's kind of, it's not like a perfect simulacrum, as it were. But it's at least I know that I'm running the tasks in here, that I'm running them on Ubuntu, and I'm running them with the system off. And Johan's finished, so that now, if you type Vagrant SSH. I've got that as well. So what this is doing, so SSH to your local today, so if you do CD, and then you do / I think it's a backslash. Just put a backslash.
Are these instructions written down somewhere?
No, they are for the AutoGraders project. I only just got this work, and now the written.
All right, but that's somewhere.
So yeah, the AutoGrader examples on Agile Ventures has the instructions for these. We do capital L and I hit tab. I think I got the slash wrong. Sorry, I got the wrong slash. I can never remember the difference. Is it slash? Yeah. Okay, the capital L, hit tab. There you go. Hit return. So here, so you could type now Rails S here. But do RAILS space S, hit return, and you'll run the same little server that I was running here. So if you go to your browser now, in just your system, and you type localhost 3003, and so like 3003 instead, and it takes try hit reload. Oh, that's going to be so cool if this works. It's not thinking about it. You guys can't see it in the... but yeah. No, there you go. Hello. And so it doesn't have any data in it, which we could, there's like a rake DB or whatever. But you see that being installed there, you didn't have to configure the database. You didn't have to do anything. You've just done you've done the smoothest ever local support dev. You could, in principle now, start mucking around with the code?
The same environment as you.
Well, up to you. So if you go to now, if you go in your Sublime that you were in. So if you look in here, local support. So for example, if you open the app directory here, and like open the models directory, and let's say open, I don't know, category.rb, that's now the code that's running this app, for example, that's defining categories that are in the system and how it behaves. So you could be editing here and making changes and coming back here and seeing the changes. Now, of course, we would do it all test-driven development and so on, whatever, but you could be doing a pairing session with somebody and they could be helping you know where to go and look at the code and
And then I would push changes to
Right, and that you could push them to your thing, and then you could do pull requests from your fork back to the main thing, and they could be reviewed and potentially pulled into the main code base. Yeah. All right. I noticed we had somebody else who's joined us. Who was that there? Abdel Hadi.
Yeah, hi.
Hi.
I'm just a beginner. I'm trying to watch and learn, so not a big deal.
Sure, no worries. I'm actually going to wrap up. Some of the other guys might hang around. I'm beat here. It's quite late here in the UK. Time to get some food, I think. But yeah, we usually start the open pairing. You know, but there's other sessions that kind of go on and on and on. Do check out agileventures.org.
Oh, okay.
Abdel Hadi, where are you from?
Algeria.
Where?
Algeria.
Algeria. Ah, nice.
Cool. Good stuff. I think I'm gonna maybe just drop out. But yeah, you guys hang out, and thanks, Marianne, for trying that out.
Okay, it's still going, but
Yes, it's still. I mean,
maybe by tomorrow it'll be done.
let's just do your thing. Yeah. But so since you're on Ubuntu already, it's less of an issue for you. But for people like Johan getting set up, I think it's a big win.
Yeah, it'd be nice to see how it works on Windows.
Yeah. Good stuff. All right, thanks, guys.
Okay, thank you.
I'll catch up with you tomorrow. Bye for now.
Bye.
Bye.
So what have you been working on today, Marion?
The editable footer links with David.
Nice.
Yeah. Have you been working on this?
A little bit. Oops.
I wonder now if I should have rebooted. I don't know what to do with VirtualBox. Oh, wait a minute. This is showing up in my VirtualBox.
Yep.
Oh, cool. So then how would I, well, I guess I'll figure it out later. It's going to set it up on, so that if I wanted to like run Rails server, I would go to a local host port.
Yep.
Nice. I used it the day I forked Rails, but that was a long time ago. So how was the phone call? Anything good?
Oh, it's good. Yeah, it was a recruiter company.
Workbridge Associates?
Uh-huh.
The person I spoke to was Melissa. I just sent you a message in Skype. It was a while ago.
Gotcha.
It was like October.
Yeah, I think they're a 3-person team. Melissa, Drew, and Michael,
Okay.
I think.
I mean, they're only as good as the jobs they can get you, you know?
Yep.
Let's see. Actually, I just looked. It was a place that I did ultimately get an interview like 6 months later.
Yeah.
But I got it through the company.
Yep.
I applied directly. But you know, sometimes they have, if they build up a relationship with one of these agencies, it's easier to get in there sometimes. A lot of times, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, they mentioned one place in particular that they said they placed 70 people over the past 6 years.
Wow.
That's their main client.
Cool.
Remind me the name of the branch that you guys
Um,
were. Editable. Okay, it's an E. There it is.
No, it's migrations. Something with migration in it. I would say I'd check, but can I actually open that up now? Can I open up another? Can I run more than one virtual machine at a time? I guess I can.
Yeah.
The place she tried to get me in was Medidata Solutions.
Yep, that's the one they talked about.
Okay, well, if you get the interview there, this was the place that first they did a phone interview, and they wanted me to know SQL very, very badly, apparently, which I didn't realize, unfortunately.
Uh-huh.
So if you get in there, study up your SQL.
Does it have to be MySQL, or could it be Postgres?
Just SQL. I don't know how different they are.
Mm-hmm.
So like that's the one with the inner join where he wanted me to write an inner join query. He had this big complicated database.
Should I tell him that I'm a cowboy programmer?
Yes. Yes, you should. Or you want me to write a note for you saying that you're a cowboy programmer? Test
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. There were 5 different people, and he seemed to be the only cowboy programmer.
Mm.
And then they had me do a Sudoku game, like